Good morning, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are. On the face of this very planet, once again, welcome you to our live interactive question and answer session, something that the zoo can never do. Ask your questions and we are going to answer each and every one of them. I welcome you, especially those who are listening via IPOB community radio app, those of you who are listening via our FM in Kanu, in Abuja, in Lagos, those of you who are listening right across the face of this very planet, those of you who happen to be doing so via satellite, those of you who are listening via Radio Biafra app, those of you who are on tuning, some on Simple Radio, some of you are also on Radio Garden. However you have chosen to listen to us this very morning, just be aware that this is a live presentation because the time now is 5 minutes past 7 a.m. in the blessed land of Biafra, and by the same number of minutes past the top of the hour, regardless of where you are. I welcome each and every one of you, and as I welcome you, allow me to also encourage you to welcome other people as well, friends, family, relatives, regardless of where they are. As long as you have an internet-enabled device, you should be able to participate in this very program, this very morning, afternoon, or night, depending on where you are. I welcome each and every one of you. My name is nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra all over this very planet, the director of Radio Biafra and also Biafra Television, and by the very special grace of the Most High Elohim, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra, I welcome you once again, please. Today is Friday, the 9th day of October 2020. In a short while, our lines are going to open. As usual, you can reach us on Skype, which is IPOB 2020 IPOB 2020 at outlook.com. We are also on WhatsApp, and our WhatsApp line this very day I am going to announce very, very shortly. I will announce it very, very shortly. Please do try and bear with us. The WhatsApp line just for today, the line through which you can get hold of us today is +44 79 51 27 8705. I repeat, +44 is a UK number, +44 WhatsApp only, please. +44 79 51 27 8705. You can reach us on this very platform and also on Skype as well, IPOB 2020 at outlook.com. We are going to pray very, very briefly, and then after that our lines will open, and as usual, please keep whatever you have to say to within 2 minutes. Ask your questions, please, and then allow the world to hear the answers that we have to provide. We want very difficult questions. Please dispense with any form of pleasantry or greeting, please. Just give us your name and where you are when you do call us, and then you proceed to ask your question. But before all of that, we are going to pray to hand over all our proceedings this morning to the Most High. Chineke nna nke bi n'igwe na-ekere eluigwe maka elu ụwa, onye ndị mmụọ ozi na-akpụ isi ala nye onye ọbụla nne ya ka mmadụ dị ndụ na-efe. Chineke nna, na-epụtara anyị ihu wee pụtara anyị azụ onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-achị onye ịma mma ya na-adịgide n'ime ndụ ndị ya nọruo mgbe ebighị ebi anyị were ihe niile nke anyị ụwa anyị bụ wee nyefee gị n'aka n'ụbọchị nketa n'ihi na inyewe anyị ndụ n'ala nke ndị dị ndụ anyị wee na-aja gị mma wee na-eto gị na-asị gị na ezi ebube dị ngọzi na ozi ọma nke dịrị anyị ka anyị wee gbasaa n'ihi ndụ ndụ n'ụwa niile ndị iro nọ n'ọchịchịrị aka nsi ha abawo ha ọnụ obodo ekwensu bụ zoo Nigeria nke ekwensu hiwere ezi ebube dị ngọzi ọ dawo onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna anyị wee na-enye gị nsọpụrụ niile n'ụtụtụ niile na-asị na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye pụrụ ime ihe dị etu a ọ bụghị mmadụ dị ndụ anyị wee na-arịọ gị ezi ebube dị ngọzi ka iwe nye anyị Biafra na mgbe nke anyị ọsọ n'ime afọ ka anyị na-arịọ gị onye nwe m ka amara gị na-ebere gị ịhụnanya gị na ọmịiko gị wezu oke n'ebe anyị nọ ka ọ ga-abụ na ikpete mazụ n'ụwa anyị na-gasị n'ezie na ndị dị etu abụ ụmụ Chineke bụ ụmụ IPOB anyị wee na-aja gị mma n'ụbọchị nke taa wee na-eto gị wee na-ebuli aha nsọ gị wee na-akpụ isi ala nye gị na-asị na enweghị chi ọzọ ekwesịga gị na-asị otuto niile na-asọpụrụ niile dịrị aha nsọ gị gwa mara mgbe niile ebighị ebi ise that was the language of heaven. The language of heaven. People are calling and I'm not going to waste any time. We are going to the lines this morning to go and take the calls of those who have been chosen to pursue this very effort. I have a caller on the line, please. Your name and where you're calling from, please, and make it very brief. Your name and where you are, please.
Mazi, good morning.
Good morning to you.
From here. My name is Amici. I'm calling from Canada.
Amici from Canada. You are the first caller this morning. Please go ahead.
Yes, I'm happy that I'm the first caller and I've been trying to reach you since. So my question goes straight to this point. Considering all the decay in our society, the level of mess in the educational system, if Biafra comes tomorrow morning, what are we going to do? What are you going to do to restore the dignity of man? I'm using this term because that is the University of Nigerian London. What are you going to do to restore our engineering graduates, our electrical, civil, mechanical, and petroleum engineering, so that they will kickstart and hit the ground running on developing our new nation?
Thank you very much. Education for us will be a priority, and all of this, the blueprint, how we're going to approach the education sector is going to be contained in a document that will be published as soon as we gain our sovereignty, as soon as we gain our independence. All the universities that we have presently or currently in Biafra land will be revived and revamped. And we are going to have a set of Ivy League universities. It is not everybody. I do not believe some people are gifted with one form of craft or the other. They will have the same importance, so to speak, as a paper degree. In other words, woodwork, glasswork, metalwork, and steelwork. Very, very important that we make those the foundational basis of our industrial advancement. But top-class universities, as you have mentioned, or should I say previously, like UNN and a few other ones that are also very good, will be revived. A lot of money will be pumped into it, and standards raised immediately to accommodate the very brilliant, brainy people that will make use of those institutions. And for us, education is absolutely key. Absolutely key. It is very, very important. I cannot go into so much detail because I don't want our enemies to copy what we're going to do. Please go ahead.
I know. My second question is, second and last question is, now, we have a very tough situation coming out from the colonial masters, Britain, who practice a parliamentary system. Now, Nigeria copied the presidential system, which is not even working. So my question now is, if our nation comes, are we going to adopt presidential system or parliamentary system? If we are going to go into parliamentary system, are we going to have, is our prime minister going to be answerable to Queen of England, or are we going to have a governor, an independent governor, just like Canada is, Canada is answerable to England, but are we going to have independent prime minister or presidential system of government?
We are going to have a Biafran system of government, something very unique, something very African. It is neither the British parliamentary system nor the United States presidential system. We have a hybrid, something very, very unique. Do not forget that we are the ones that gave the world democracy. We are the ones that gave the world the first written constitution. Don't take my word for it. This is what scholars have come up with. These are white people, people who are independent. So we know what we are doing. We are going to go back to the way we were before the white man came. A very unique system of government. We are going to have a prime minister, of course. We are going to also have a head of state, and the prime minister will be answerable to the people of Biafra. The same thing. Let's say if you have seen the Israeli system, where you have the Prime Minister Netanyahu reporting to the President of the State of Israel. So we are going to have it in such a way that there will be division of power, separation of powers, and also accountability. What we have done is to try not to concentrate powers in the hands of one man or a group of very stupid people as you have in the Zoological Republic. What we are going to have is something exceptionally unique. And do not forget that Izon people will have their own parliament, they will have their own premier as well. The same thing with the BBO. The same thing with Efik. Every ethnic nationality in Biafra land is going to have their own premier. They are going to have their own parliament as well, making laws in their own local language. Because sometimes most of the nonsense that have actually bedeviled Africa is the fact that they try to make their laws in English language. That is why they get away with so many lies and deception and also fraud. So in Igbo land, the Igbo nation is going to have its own parliament making laws in Igbo language. Idoma is going to have Idoma parliament making laws in Idoma language, answerable to the premier of Idoma land, who in turn is answerable to all the people who he has been mandated constitutionally to preside over. And mind you also that each and every of these ethnic nationalities within Biafra land will have their own flag and their own national anthem. And any day they wish to leave the union, any day they want to abandon Biafra and go on their own, we will go down to have a party and say, we will have a very beautiful send-off party and say bye-bye to them. That doesn't mean that we are not one people, we are still the same people. So what we are going to have is something very, very unique. Very, very unique to Africa. We're not going to copy anybody. And I believe very strongly that after about 10 or 20 years, people will begin to copy us instead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you, Mazi. May God bless you in this trouble, and we continue to pray for you.
He said, thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. I had a caller previously on the line, but they are no longer there. So let me go again to WhatsApp and see who is there. The caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me, please? Your name and where you are, if you may. The caller on the line, can you hear me? No, they cannot hear me. I have another caller on the line on WhatsApp. Can you hear me, please? Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Chidi Okafo. I'm calling from Manchester, United Kingdom.
Chidi Okafo from Manchester in the UK. The world is listening. Please go ahead. Your question, if you may.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question. I saw a video, one of the comedian called Zivis or something. He was saying that some the SAS people took him to to sell, and he went there and saw a lot of IPOB members there. So he was asking, is there any plan for the IPOB who has stayed in the cell for 8 months, 6 months? Is there anything that the IPOB is doing about those people that are in cell, or have they been forgotten?
Do you follow the activities of IPOB? Do you follow what we do?
Yes, I follow, but not that often.
Then I do strongly recommend that you follow what we do very, very often. We don't abandon anybody. SARS can go behind people's back and kidnap people's children, and we don't know about it. Now that this has come to our attention, we are going to investigate it. We have lawyers on retainer. We retain lawyers across the board. So anytime we get any information regarding any illegal abduction or detention, we go to court immediately and we get our people freed. The thing about the zoo is that Nigeria is a criminal state. It is a jungle, it is a zoo. It is a place populated with animals who cannot reason properly. That is the reason why they can take people's children and hide them from us. We don't know about it. But now that it has come to our knowledge, we're going to do something about it.
Zedus or something. Zedus, he makes a comedy. He's a comedian. So I saw the video he made. I think that should be last month. So calling on the IPOB members to go and rescue this, at least in Anambra State.
If you
kidnap them, and because they protest, and why they feel an herdsmen, those are key people. Once they come, highest 2 days, they go out. But the IPOB member who protest peacefully are in the cell for over, some of them are there 6 months, 8 months now, and their family member, some of them, their family member don't know where they are there.
That is what I'm saying.
Look for the
video and circulate it, please. We want to see that very video. And if you have been following, and I would strongly recommend that you follow what we do, you will see our statement that was issued only 2 days ago. We made it very clear. The thing about the zoo, Nigeria, is that they go about kidnapping people. They don't make what they are doing open. That is why they have so many checkpoints in our land. You can come to a checkpoint and you disappear from the checkpoint. People don't understand why we're against all these things. People, the idiot, that very fool in New York, that idiot in New York, talking nonsense, they're giving money to the fool. These people don't know what we are passing through. That is the thing about black people, and I keep lamenting and complaining about it all the time. When you give money to a black person, they lose their senses, they no longer reason properly. These are the things that we are fighting. People don't understand the meaning of our agitation. We want freedom, we want people to be free, and we are not going to stop until we are all free. The only way to stop SARS from kidnapping people, locking them up, harvesting their organs and selling them to Indian doctors is for us to have our freedom, for us to have Biafra. It's as simple as that. Anything else is a complete waste of time. And that is why I abhor and despise anybody who is against what we are doing. That is why I have continuously said that anybody who is against what we are doing is a child of Lucifer. That person is evil. Absolutely evil. There is something I'm going to read later on this morning that was sent to me. They said an American radio host was saying in the USA about black people and the way we reason and the problem with us. The worst part of this whole thing is that a black person doesn't know how idiotic and how foolish he or she is. They don't know. That is why you are in a country where somebody will wake up in the morning, abduct another person's child and lock them up. They don't take them to court, and you're telling me that such a system should be allowed to continue, such a system should exist. God forbid that thing. God forbid that thing. Let us go to this caller on the line. I have another caller on the line, please. Can you hear me? Your name and where you are. The caller on Skype, if you may. Are you paying attention? Please turn your system down. Turn it down, please. Turn it down. Turn it down.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, please. There, well, your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Uche Mwago. I'm calling from United Kingdom.
From the UK again, yes. Go ahead, please. Your question.
I'm very, very happy to reach you at this hour. And I pray that Chukwuka will bless you and guide you.
You see?
I have a few questions to ask. One is that Being that you have reiterated many times that you will not participate in the governance of Biafra when it comes, how will this vision be implemented if you will not be a leader after getting Biafra? Being that you as a person as well will have the right to contest fairly, and you know what the outcome will be. That's the first question. The second one quickly is that there are many communities ravaged by traditional reputation based on greed, the greed of the wealthy people who will dethrone some traditional rulers like Eze and all the rest of them, and go to court and propound some ridiculous theories. And because maybe the people who inherited, who it is their right by hereditary, which is practiced all over the world, poor, and they are dethroned, and somebody who is not qualified and who by right will not even have the right of succession, will now be Eze. You know, what will be the situation when Biafra comes? Will this trend be reversed to the original status quo of hereditary? And that's my second question. But finally, will there be a grand master plan for economic and commerce, as well as architectural development plan and process in place when Biafra come? Or will things be like it has always been? Anybody can build where he wants, any type of thing he wants? Or will there be somehow, like, you know, the case of Dubai and development of cities in China and other parts of the world when Biafra comes, so that people around the world will feel compelled to be in Biafra land? Development of the now the federal government of the Zoological Republic is trying to colonize the rivers, when other places like every Igbo land or Biafra land is blessed with river banks that can form as beaches, tourist attraction sites, pleasurable areas, you know what I mean, where people can enjoy all the endowment that nature and God has blessed us with. Will all these things be put in place so that our place will be the heaven on earth, which I have seen the vision as well as you have, that God has promised us? This is my
you ask
but in giving
yes. Go ahead.
In support of this movement, I have tapped in. I was born with the spirit of Biafra in me when I was growing up, and I didn't know where it comes from. So I don't want to divulge too much of what my project is in the spirit of Biafra is, but it's coming soon, which we go on to sensitize our people in the various languages of Biafra, because we have suffered too long. Everybody I work in low-paid job in this country is either a PhD degree holder of international repute or having multiple degrees. I myself, I have 8 degrees. Apart from the one I came with from Nigeria, I have 8 degrees in this country. And what am I doing with it? You see, so it's painful. It's really, really painful. And hearing your voice is like giving life to a dying soul, whereby we know that even if we are dying, we know that there is hope afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I will approach your questions this way. Number one, I do not intend to lead, because everything, or the master plan of Biafra land, the development for 75 years, is contained in a document. At the appropriate time, it will be released. And as I have said time and time again, we are going to work for 24 hours every blessed day, morning, noon, and night for 75 years to build our land. We are not janjaweed, we are not lazy, we are intellectually astute, we are naturally endowed with intellect, hard work, and dedication to duty. Those things that have stood us in good stead for very many years will be brought to bear in this new nation of Biafra. And regarding what you said about some hereditary titles and the thrones and all the rest of it, Biafra is going to be a republic, or the people will have to decide via a plebiscite the type of nation that they want. if we are Republicans and we have been saying it for as long as we have lived that we are Republicans, then there will be no title will be hereditary. Every position will be contested for and voted for, even down to the chief of police. The chief of police will be voted for by the people. So that you're not going to have the type of issues with SARS that you have in the zoo. The people must be responsible for the type of government and governance that they have. Nothing is hereditary. Nobody is going to go to a court of law talking nonsense, saying it is their turn to inherit a throne in a particular village. All that rubbish will be swept aside. We are going to run a purely Republican society. Republic. Which means that the people will have to decide what happens and who governs them. And the reason why we have spent years educating and enlightening our people is so that they go into Biafra with a type of mindset that will sustain the type of growth and development that you're talking about. Because if you have idiots there, I have said this thing before, if you have idiots there, you will have one alamajiri, one idiot from Sokoto. Out of envy and jealousy that Biafra is doing very well, they can bring out some of the money they have looted over the years and give it to one idiot to go and cause havoc in Biafra land as they are doing. Right now, if you're a preacher in Biafra land, or if you're somebody that think that people have regard for you, they give you money and ask you to go and castigate Biafra, castigate IPOB. You come out and you take the money and start talking rubbish. The next day, we are not going to allow such things to happen in Biafra, and that is why we will have the very finest secret service that man can ever imagine possible. Our secret services, they're not going to sleep. They are the ones who will make sure that no counterfeit money gets into the country. People don't know the impact that counterfeit money will have on an economy. Because most of them, they are black people, they don't know. They don't even know the meaning of inflation. They don't know the impact inflation has both on wealth creation in terms of employment and making sure that we have a viable society that people will be proud to belong to. And coming to your very last question, as I said earlier, we have a master plan, believe you me. We are going to, nobody's going to be, people talk about cultism, they talk about armed, there will be no armed robbery, you're going to go to work, people are going to, there will be department for employment. If you're unemployed, you'll be registered, the computer will capture you as somebody who is unemployed, and everything will be done to make sure that you have a job to go to. Before the white man came, we didn't have armed robbery, we didn't have people stealing, people used to go to bed, leaving their doors open, we never used to have any high fence. All this fence you're seeing these days, people build house and they build fence, suffocating everybody inside. It's a new phenomenon. It didn't used to be there before. People leave their father's compound and they go 4, 5, 6 miles away and go and live in a farm, only them. No armed robbery, nothing. All these should I say, new age afflictions came about since the white man came and started talking rubbish about one Nigeria. We are going to go back to where we are as a people, but far more modern, far more forward looking. Imagine what we have done with nothing. IPOB is causing the zoo sleepless nights with nothing. No politician can come out and say, we are sponsoring IPOB. No businessman can come and say, we are putting money into IPOB. From the little that we have, look at the impact we have made. Then imagine when we are given a country, we will turn it into paradise on this very earth. And they know. And that is why Obama is talking rubbish and talking about one Nigeria. Because they understand what we have in us. They understand that we are asking for Biafra that we may manifest the goodness of God in us. That is what Lucifer doesn't want. That is what the forces of darkness do not want. But they have no choice. They have absolutely no choice because we are winning. And in the end, Biafra will come. Thank you very much, my dear brother. Thank you very, very. 8 degrees he has. My goodness me. 8 degrees. I have a caller who happens to be on the line. Can you hear me? This caller is on WhatsApp. Your name and where you are and your questions, please, if you may. Can you hear me? No. They are reconnecting. I have another caller who happens to be on WhatsApp. Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me for the last time? They call on WhatsApp. Can you hear me?
Wonderful. My angel manifested the human form. Mazi, nnamdi, kanu.
Thank you.
To be with you and everyone on this great platform propagating this everlasting gospel. I remain your humble brother, Mazi Ekuruke, calling from Iguacha province.
From Iguacha? Please go ahead.
My leader, I just called to, there is need for me just to say it, because there is here and they are not really, based on what you are talking about concerning the master plan and the way forward when Chukwuka will restore our land and Biafra, how it will be governed. And you have made it clear concerning the democracy and all the rest of them they are talking about, that it emanated from our land. And in order to add to this that you have said now, I want to give a sort of advice or encourage that when this government, our government comes, for instance, after laying the foundation, that must be done. After the foundation is laid, before the contesting of whatever position, because foundation must be laid, and whoever have the master plan will lay the foundation, make sure that the foundation is correct, and you are the one now. Is it contested? So that is, by the way. Then when they will begin to now contest for political positions, now for instance, you know our people during the olden days, during maybe when they have people will have different opinions, this, that, hey, different opinion. And when they come together in the Mbarama or the market square or whatever they will gather, you will see that everybody, when they vote and have a consensus, they say, oh, Hakarashe. Everybody would, and whoever have a different opinion or decision will bury his or her opinion or decision and imbibe with the one that everybody agreed and work with for the progress of that particular opinion. And this is what is lacking even in the whole world today. That is why we are having Democratic, the Republican, APC, PDP. They will not be, for example, when a particular party emerge in the center, what I advise so that it will help us, every other position, every other political party must be collapsed. That one that emerges in the center, everybody will rally around to make sure that everyone work towards carrying the collective developmental activities of that particular. Then after, well, for instance, if we agree maybe it's 5 years term or 6 years term or 7 years term, after that time, and by the grace of God, one single time, not coming for second time, third time, fourth time, one single time, immediately that one that time ends. That political party, every of that political party will collapse, and they will form a different political party. People will come again, and those people who have served will go and retire. The people who breed of people will come, so that we will not have this sabotage here and there. For instance, see what Chukwuka is using Donald Trump, Republican, to do. But the Democrats are fighting against the development of their people, so development of America. The same thing is happening in the zoo. The same thing is happening everywhere. So we will learn from their mistakes, and so that immediately we come a march. Every political party, whatever political party platform you came from, will collapse, and that one in the center will become number. Everybody will rally around on it and work it for that particular duration of time, whether 6 years, 5 years, or 7 years time. And immediately they finish, one single time, everybody will go to your tent. People who breed of people will come up for a particular purpose and canvas, and based on the blueprint which the foundation has been laid, which you have laid the foundation, everybody will go and work towards development. That is what I'm suggesting. And so by the grace of God, so that we will not have all these people sabotaging, working against the development of their nation. God bless you, Mazi.
And you too. Thank you very much for that. A very wonderful and enlightening insight into different forms of government and how people can become more responsive to the wishes of the people. It used to happen that way in our land. The people gather in the market square and opinions are canvassed, and the most credible opinion is adopted, and everybody will say, yes, we've agreed, and they just go home. The thing is that this very predatory, almost animalistic and criminal nature of a black man that you see in the zoo, Nigeria, is because of the way the place was structured. Nobody came into the project Nigeria with a clean conscience. Everybody came with what they can get out of the whole nonsense. And that is why it is in a mess. Biafra cannot be that way. Anybody who tries, either as an agent of Janjaweedism or an agent of whatever neo-colonialist forces that may be wishing or looking to pull Biafra down, you will go to jail for life. If you're found guilty of treason, you'll be hanged in public. In your compound, you'll be hanged in public. The nearest street to your compound, you'll be hanged there. So that in your next life, you will never ever rise up against your people. People sometimes they couch their wickedness and their evil towards their own people in this nonsense about, we are trying to, of course, we're going to be a very free society. When I mean free, I mean absolutely free. You can say whatever you like and get away with it. If you say something I don't like and I feel sufficiently upset about it or aggrieved, I go to the court. I charge you for libel and I take you to court for defamation of character. And then you go there and prove if all the allegations against me is right or wrong. But somebody sending police or sending whoever to go and arrest somebody because of what they said is all crap, all rubbish. It's not going to happen in Biafra land. So we are going to have a very viable, vibrant democracy. But for us to sustain that type of democracy, it requires vigilance on the part of everybody. Everybody has to be vigilant and working towards one purpose. That one purpose we have signed up to is that we're not just fighting for freedom for the sake of it. We're not just fighting for freedom to become like another useless, very hopeless African country. Heaven forbid, no. We are fighting to try to build something that when God comes down from heaven, Elohim will come to Biafra land. Thank you very much, my dear brother. Very, very enlightening. Thank you very, very much. I do have a caller. We have a caller, if I'm not mistaken. There is this caller we have on Skype. If they're there, they're no longer there. They are not there anymore. Let me see if I can go and get the person who is on Skype. Your name, please, and where you are. Your name, where you are, please, and your question.
Mazi, my name is Chukwuma. I am calling you from the United States.
From the U.S. Which state are you in the U.S.? Which state are you in?
I'm calling you from New York.
From New York. Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Yes. Okay, Mazi, I have 3 questions to you. One of my first questions is this. Before the fallout of Ohaneze, did you ever, Mazi, please be patient and understand my question. Before this fallout between IPOB and Ohaneze, did you ever in any way had a meeting with them and they tell them your plan? Or is it because you found out that they sold out and you took advantage of them being sold out to castigate them? Because I am in support of castigating them. I'm castigating them myself. But my question is this, my number one question. Did you ever tell them all these beautiful and wonderful plans that IPOB has brought for the development of Biafra land and liberation of Biafra? Did you discuss it with them?
Yes, hold on. One question at a time, because your questions are very deep. Yes, the answer to that is yes. I discussed it with them. When I came out, I went to Chief Nyawodo's house to go and see him. I had a meeting with him. I had telephone conversations with him. It did not just stop there. The same plans that we had, or we have, still have till tomorrow morning, of course, until Biafra comes and beyond, I also intimated the governors as well. Are you listening? I said, it is not just Ohaneze that I sat down with to discuss all of these issues. I also sat down with the governors and I told them everything. And I explained to them the difficulties they will have coming out in the open to support what we are doing. I am not against them doing what they're doing behind closed doors and, trying to be some kind of a moderating influence. If that is how they want to sell what they are doing to Abuja, I don't mind. I said to them, do what you're doing and we'll do what we are doing. But if you're asking me to call off Anambra elections, you must bring something to the table. I gave them example as to how the Yorubas managed to get presidency for the very first time in 1999, because there was a consensus immediately after June 12. The whole annulment, the whole nonsense that happened with Abiola's stolen mandate by IPOB and Abacha. I made it very clear and I said to them, we must sing from the same hymn sheet. We must bring pressure to bear on Nigeria. That is the way you get what you want. If you keep begging and pleading from now till forever, it won't happen. I sat down with them. I discussed between them personally, I said, private conversation one-on-one. And I told him, this is what we are going to do. Now listen very, very carefully to this. I'm not sure I've said this in public before. They asked me, the governors asked me to give them a list. That Abuja asked them to ask me to give them a list as to the things that I want before I lift the boycott of the Anambra elections. Listen carefully, please. I said, you must open Calabar Seaport. You must open Iguacha Seaport. You must open Warri Seaport, because there is something wrong with all of us crowding, around Lagos all the time. Papa and Tinkan, you try to get funds from abroad, or you struggle and you buy a car, you bring in the car, and the car has to go through Lagos. Why? When the same Atlantic Ocean flows through Warri, flows through Iguacha, flows through Calabar, the same lane that the ships will take to going to South Africa, going to Angola, going to Gabon, going to Cameroon, all those places. The same Atlantic Ocean. Why must this ship stop in Lagos? Why can't it continue all the way to Calabar, all the way to Iguacha? So I said, you must open Warri Seaport, you must open Iguacha Seaport, you must also open Calabar Seaport. And I asked them, listen carefully, and I asked them, and I said to them that the river port in Onitsha must be opened. I went as far as saying that they must build another river port in Lokoja, not to serve Biafran people, but to serve those who are in that area. We had all these things, all the plans outlined. I said to them, take this thing to Abuja and tell them that is what I want before I can call off the elections, the election boycott. You know what they did? Now, after going through all of that, because remember that then the Buhari had died, they buried him in Saudi Arabia, they were preparing Jubril to take over then. Osibanjo called them for a meeting in Asarok on the back of the submissions that I made. As I'm telling you that, call on Nyamot on the phone and ask him. On the strength of IPOB's agitation, Osibanjo called them to a meeting. Nyamot did not tell IPOB that he was going to that very meeting. They went to that meeting, they took the CV of their children, the resume, CV, all of them were going there to look for jobs for their children. They never discussed what way. That very list I gave them to give to Abuja. And I said to them, there's some things I can't say on air, to be honest with you. I advised them. And I said, if they ask you, tell them I have to take something. Since you say we are your children, tell them I have to take something back to my children for them to stand down what they are doing. What are those things that I have listed? I said all the industries that were closed down, all the industries that Michael Opera built, all the industries that Simon Bakwe built, that are moribund, we want them revived so that people can become gainfully employed. I asked Ohaneze and the governors, I said to them, where is the money that Jonathan, who stole the money that Jonathan voted for Iguacha to Enugu Expressway? Where is the money meant for Onitsha to Enugu Expressway? Who has that very money? Who stole that very money? Because Jonathan awarded this contract twice. Now it was then I discovered that they had eaten the money. That those who are in Ohaneze, they won't allow them. Shem could not allow them to take this very request to Abuja and argue it, because in Abuja they were told, but we have given you money for Iguacha Enugu Express Road. We've given you the money for Onitsha to Enugu Express Road. Why are you coming to us again? Why don't you go back and tell your children that you have eaten that money? Do you understand? Now,
I do.
Now, when they pressed me that very day at government house in Enugu, the then DG of DSS, Dawara, was in Enugu that same day. They brought their money, their euro, in white sacks to give me money. Once I call off Anambra elections, they will give me money. And I said to them, no, I don't want. I was in that meeting with the governors. They said to me that Nnamdi is upstairs, that Ike Premadi is upstairs. Do I want them to come and join? And I said to the governors, no, they cannot come now. Go to Abuja and tell them this is what we want. When they agree to it, then we cannot have a jamboree together. That's one big family. That was the day they decided that we are unmovable, that they will bring the army to kill us. That was the day Nyawodo and all the rest of them ganged up and said to Buratai, come and kill them. They now held a meeting at Nikelek Resort, where they planned to kill me and to kill my parents and IPOB family members. That was exactly what happened. Your second question, please.
Thank you. Thank you. My second question is this. Enyinaya Habaribe is a senator voted in through PDP, political party, whatever I don't know. And now, Dave Omae is also a PDP member. Now, Habaribe shared the same idea that the Biafrans are being marginalized, are being tormented, are being humiliated. Do you think, since you approve of Habaribe, that this Habaribe has been able to share his ideas with Dave Omae, Ohaneze, and Ike Nwusu? Because I'm hearing that name for Ike Nwachukwu. Yes, I just want to bring in that name again, because I saw a different name with that. So my question here is this. Has Habaribe, whom you have asked us with his performance and his behaviors, that is outspoken to tell the world how we have been marginalized, do you think, since he works on the platform of PDP, and the Dave Omae, who has claimed that he is the governor's forum or chairman governor forum of PDP, that he has shared his idea with Habaribe, or that he has bought the idea of Habaribe of believing that we are humiliated, marginalized, tormented, killed on daily basis? That's my second question.
Now, yes, I want to answer your question this way. In the year 2000, and Obasanjo got in 1999 after Jim Wobbard and Ojo Zokalo betrayed Ekweme. I want to answer your question this way, that Habaribe is a lone voice in the wilderness. Now, the question you should be asking is, why are the governors, why is that other lawmakers are not backing? Is what Habaribe saying, is it wrong that we are marginalized? Is it wrong? Everybody knows it's the truth. Now, ask yourself this question. Now, this is how I want for people to reason. Ask yourself this simple question. Why is it that other senators are not rising up and supporting Habaribe, saying the same thing, singing from the same hymn sheet, so that those who are oppressing us will understand that we have now risen up as one people? They will not do it, because one person will go behind to Sokoto and say, oh, I want to be vice president, forget that thing that my brother is saying, forget what Habaribe is saying, he's just speaking for himself. Oh, we are not marginalized. There is nothing wrong where we come from. Idiots like that, buffoon, that animal in Uyo, claiming he's a preacher. That is the type of mentality our people have. They want to trade whatever they have. The competition they have is amongst themselves, whereas the enemy is outside. You should be competing with those outside. All they care about is to be the only person that has built upstairs in the village, for them to be the only cock crowing in the village. That is village champions. That is what they are. That is why they cannot support Habaribe. Are you telling me that Omahi, as learned as he is, Omahi is an educated man? Are you telling me he doesn't know what is going on? Did you not see our mothers yesterday crying that their rice farms are being destroyed in Ebonyi? Go to Punch newspaper, it is there. Are you telling me that idiot couldn't say it? Are you telling me that Omahi cannot see that our mothers are crying that their crops are being destroyed? Now, in the house, in the chambers of the Senate or whatever it's called, everybody will rise up to say, this is what is happening in Ebo, I'm not happy. And you, the same evening, Umani will rise up and say everything is okay. Oh, Buhari is doing very well. That is how they are. People need to understand the way we have taken our selfishness to a new level. We have taken our individualism to a new level, and it is destructive. It is destructive. I could have gone as that Oshomole lookalike did a while back. I should have gone to the zoo and taken money from them. The time that Mama Daura brought his sacks of money to a local government house. If you doubt me, go and ask any governor. They were there. Go and ask Ubani. They brought money in sacks, in euros, millions, to give to me, and I said no. In any government house. Go and ask Ikekwe, he will tell you. I said no. So if I had collected that money as some other idiots have done in the past, by now I'll be telling you, let us move forward. There is a way to do it and all that rubbish. But we have remained very consistent. We have said no. Instead of somebody to come and say, oh, this thing that our people are saying is correct, oh, let's kill him. They will tell you, let us beg for presidency. We'll go down on our knees to go and beg them. That is the problem that we have. Not that they don't understand, but their individual selfishness, their need to come out, and because people, they know that in a Biafra land that is very highly competitive, they may not be able to find their feet. So the only thing they can do in life is to sabotage, is to go and become subservient to the oppressor, that they may make money, live in Abuja, live in Lagos. That is why they don't live in the village. Please, your next question.
Thank you, Mazi. My next question is this. You promise us that you will answer every question in every sincerity. So be patient and answer me this one. I have an aged mother who has been so much intoxicated with the Biafra. Let me use that word. I might be wrong. She has everything she talks about all day long is Biafra. So answer this question for her sake and other aged mother whom you know are listening on daily basis. Looking at all the sabos that has come up to make a video to castigate you, to tell us that IPOB is a private business, to tell us that you don't know how to do it. There are so many, I cannot mention all their names. In 3 words, can you tell the world why you think that IPOB, their message, their blueprint, and all the plans they have to restore Biafra is the best, and why they must speak and follow it? After that, I have one final. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. As I said to you before, our people are destructively selfish. Destructively. Let me tell you something now. If you bring the best ideas to your village, you yourself right now, take that idea to your village, try to propagate that very idea, you will find out that 99.9% of the people will buy into it. There will be one idiot somewhere that will put his hand up and say, no, I don't agree, I don't agree. If you ask that, if you listen very carefully, you will hear the person murmuring. The murmur will be, oh, why should it be you? Why should it be Chukwemeka? Why not me? Not that they're opposed to what you're doing, but their only objection is that why not them? Why you? And why do you blame people? People you claim that go out to go and make video, people are very hungry. If you're very wretched, touch rat, and people give you money and ask you to do a video, you will do it. If you want to be like nnamdi, you cannot be. You, of course, envy will take you over. Our people are naturally disposed to a very, devastating, envious, a jealousy that can kill. Why do people poison people in the village? Why do they poison people in the village? Isn't that envy? What have you done to the man? Somebody traveled abroad, your parents suffered, scraped, saved, did everything, sent you abroad, you studied and you came back, and somebody wants to poison you. What have you done to them? Nothing. You've done nothing wrong to them, but they want to kill you because you are not. They want to be you. They cannot be like you. We are the only people that come out and millions come out. without paying anybody to do so. We are the only people that command the largest mass movement on the face of the earth. If that does not attract envy and jealousy, what else can attract envy and jealousy? I ask of you. So people will spend their time trying to accommodate people who have been eaten by envy.
Sorry, sir.
As simple as that. Go ahead.
Tell my aged mother why your message to liberate Biafra should be the best for her to follow all day long, as she has been following you.
There is no other way. Ask my Abraham the wrong way. People should translate in English. In fact, we are never ever going to stop until Biafra is restored. The fact that this very promise from God Almighty in heaven must be made manifest in our time. The fact that only IPOB, I repeat and I say it with every sense of conviction and purpose. It is only IPOB that can restore Biafra, nobody else. Tell them that is what I said. Do you know why? They don't have the they don't have the discipline, they don't have the dedication, they don't have the sense of purpose, they don't have at all this very idea that everything sacrificable needs to be sacrificed to get Biafra. They don't have it. Give them money, they start building hotels. Tomorrow morning, all these idiots that you claim who are talking, including the idiots who give them money, you will say they have relaxed. They build upstairs in the village and they have arrived. No, our own is the promised land. When Yeshua was praying, I said, let thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Jesus Christ prayed that very prayer. And we are referring to Biafra, and I can tell you that very confidently. That is the reason why Obama said to keep the zoo one is a tax that day. The idiotic janja. I said, let thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven, must do, because they know that Biafra is the kingdom of heaven upon the face of the earth. And then anybody, if you are discerning, if you have the eyes in the spirit, if you can see, you will see what millions have seen. Our brother a while ago rang and said, in the village in those days, you come around, who is that very person? Before IPOB came, has there been this groundswell of opinion in terms of our consciousness, in terms of our sense of purpose, knowing where we are going to? It's only this generation that did it, and only IPOB can do it. And that is why your grandma or your mother must remain resolute and focused in what we are doing. Thank you very much. Sorry, please hold on a second. This is your last question you said. Please hold on. Yes, go ahead.
My last question is this. That is, if you consume more, that means you defecate more, something like that. How do you plan to compensate? How do IPOB plan to compensate people in Aba, Onitsha, Owerri, and then for the lives that has been lost in agitating for Biafra? They have been going out for evangelism. Other people, these are matters that need to be very careful, because I have not seen protests about Biafra in Calabar. I have not heard about anyone in New York. I have lived in all these places, I'm telling you. I hardly, if not for the one IPOB initiated, seen anyone from the indigenous people in Ejo, in Bayelsa. I've been to Yenegoa before. I've not seen anyone. By the indigenous Efik people, I've not seen them. Now, look at Aba. Indigenous people in Aba have stood up to tell the world we are being humiliated and marginalized. Aba people have been killed in Onitsha. They have been killed and massacred in Asaba. Sometime I heard about that, but these days, no. Then, my question to you is this. Would there be a kind of a federal law, even if any province, as soon as Biafra comes, to compensate these people that has given this much, in terms of anywhere an Igbo woman is admitted, even if any province delivery, as soon as Biafra comes, to compensate these people that has given this much in terms of anywhere an Igbo woman is admitted in a hospital for maybe delivery, no bill. Any child between the age of 1 to this, because we have given much and they know it. It is not in, I have not seen Efik people gather. We are Efik, we are agitating that we are being humiliated, we are being marginalized, we are being tormented, we are being killed. I have not seen Ijo people, even the so-called Ikwere people, the so-called the south of south in Ikwere and other areas, even Ogoni that looks like Diogene, which language, you know? Oh,
I will answer. Allow me to answer, my dear brother, so that others may be able to come in as well. And you have asked very searching and intelligent questions, and this very last one is also amongst them. People, did you read about our media head in Akwa Ibom being arrested? Do you know people have been in detention in Akwa Ibom since February of this year? And they are not Igbo people, they are Biafran people. They are Ibibio, Efik, and Anang. The thing people must understand is this. It is not in the interest of Zoo newspapers, those based in Abuja and Lagos, to let the whole world know that the entire Biafran family is united in this very effort. Which place is now more formidable than Iguacha? Aba is very strong, Onisha is very strong, and I said last week, if I'm not mistaken, that they will always occupy a special place in our heart. It is not about individuals, it's about the mindset of that very place. And as I have said time and time again, Onisha, Aba are very, very key, because these are huge commercial hubs. If you get these two areas, you know that our people are compliant. So they will occupy a very special place in our hearts forever and ever. History will remember Aba, will remember Onisha, will remember Iguacha. And I am sure you said you have not heard about people protesting in all these places, and I keep reminding everybody what happened only 4 years ago, or 3.5 years ago. People have forgotten that in 2015, when I was arrested, people walked, they trekked all the way from Ebanke in Abo, all those places. People say, we are we're not Igbo. People came out of their houses and walked on the road. They did not take any transport. They walked all the way to Enugu for a rally. It was on their way back that they blocked the head bridge of Onitsha for 4 days, asking for my release. I have said this many times. It doesn't, people, there are places in so-called Igbo land that is more quiet than Ibibio land, than Efik land, than Anang land. But we know that not everybody is just like going to a war. Not everybody enlists as a soldier to go to war, but they are fighting under the banner of IPOB families that are being set up in this region. The same way that not all of us, don't expect all of us places that you least expect. Forget all the idiots that come out on the basis of news to be talking rubbish. On the ground, we are in control. On the ground itself, IPOB is everywhere. We are in control on the ground. So don't bother yourself, my dear brother. And thank you very much for such searching and intelligent questions this very morning. Thank you very, very much. I have a caller who happens to be on the line. This caller, give us your name and where you're calling us from, if you may. That is network permitting, but I can see you're calling us from a part of the zoo and it is not connecting. And how come? That is not a surprise to me. It is not a surprise to me for the very simple reason that that very place is not working. That very place is not functioning. I want to also use this very brief opportunity to congratulate Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala on her appointment with the WTO. I want to congratulate her. That is a very big difference between us and Alamajri that went to ICC court and he came last. Ishak Bello. He came last. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala went and came first. That tells you all you need to know. So when fools like Obama say keeping Nigeria one, you can now understand the reason why. But thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. I am humbled. I am humbled. You have done Biafra proud. The caller on the line who happens to be on Skype, can you hear me? Your name and where you are, please.
Good morning, Mazi.
Good morning to you. Raise your voice for us, please.
My name is Mufu Chinedu.
And where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Hungary.
From Hungary. Please go ahead. He is calling us from Hungary, but he is no longer there. He is no longer there. I don't know what happened. He is no longer there. We are listened to right across the whole globe. On purpose, we didn't advertise this very program to see if some of you would join. Can you hear me? The caller on the line, can you hear me? Hello? No, your line is breaking. Now I can hear you. I can hear you, ma'am. I can hear you now, yes. Please, your name and where you're calling from? Yes, please go ahead. You, ma'am. I can hear you now. Yes, please, your name and where you're calling from. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Evangelist Susan calling from Biafra land.
Thank you.
Please, sir, I have a very important message for you. Please call me, sir.
I will.
I have a very message.
I will.
Thank you, sir.
I will call you. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very, very much. I have another caller on the line. This caller, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, please. Raise your voice for us, please. Your name and where you are and where you're calling from.
Mazi Omwa.
Yes.
Caller from the Skype.
Yes, yes, you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Okay. Mazi, my name's Matukoti.
Yes. And where are you calling from?
Mazi, I'm calling from Port Elizabeth, South Africa.
Port Elizabeth in South Africa, please go ahead. We are all listening. Go ahead, please. We are listening.
Mazi, ase anya hurugo, to konara hurugo pada. Mazi?
We are listening. Go ahead.
Mazi, thank you so much for taking my call. Ase anya hurugo, to nana hurugo pada. Please, Mazi, we have run out of name to call you, but I call you Ugo Biafra. I call you the man that God has sent in our time. Thank you so much for the good work you're doing.
Thank you.
Mazi, my question this morning is like a contribution or a question. I've been in South Africa for a very long time, for a while. I've never seen all the history that you've been teaching us. That after getting independent, you will step aside. The mindset of our people will take a long time for them to come around the way we want it to be. So I am pleading. There's a lot of questions that I could have asked, but something that has been bothering me is that I wouldn't want you to go all these years. I know there's a lot of capable hands that can do this, but there's no capable hand like you. Please, lead us few years into our independence. Direct us and make sure that all this your work doesn't go in vain or fall into the hands that we Biafrans will not love it to be. I am pleading. It's just an submission that I'm making to you. You have to listen to the voice of the people, because after this whole struggle that we are in now, and you say you're not going to lead us into the few years. Nelson Mandela was there for so many years. We've been in prison and so many years, and he came out. His people give him a mandate. Lead us into this freedom. If you're going to be the president, somebody else can be the prime minister, so you can direct our affairs. Because, to be honest with you, it has taken over 100 years that Britain has damaged the way we're reason. It has taken a long time for all we are doing now to just come after 10 years. That's like I used to say this to so many people in South Africa. South Africa is going down is because it takes 300 years to damage their brain. And for them to come around, it needs somebody like Mazi Nnamdi.
it will take us another 50 years in order for we to come around. But if you lead us into 5 years or 8 years after our independence, then by then our minds set. I know Biafrans are very, very, like we're traveling all over the world, we're all over, and we are all going back. I am preparing to go back. And Mazi, please lead us into the first years of our independence. I am pleading with other voices of Biafra, pleading. Please, when we get our independence, lead us. Another thing that I want to say is, please, Mazi, consider me to be one of the hundreds that you're talking about. My name is Mazi Chukwudi from PE. My coordinator is Mazi Chukwuma.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. You're very kind. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much for that. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. I have another caller on the line. Can you hear me, please? This caller on Skype. Can you hear me?
Mazi, good morning.
Good morning to you.
The man wants to know from Hungary.
Yes, from Hungary, yes. That was why I took your call, because I saw the picture. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Mazi, please, my question is this. When are we taking our agitation, our protest to the streets of London, America, Canada, Australia, and let us spend days the way we did it at Orange Head Bridge. Let us spend days on the streets of all these states, of all these countries in the world, so that they hear our voice, they hear our cry. This bothering me. I really want this. We need to stay there like this a week, so that they know what we are looking for. They know what we are passing through in the zoo. Please, this is my question, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a very good, and we are, as I said, is incremental. We are coming there. We are getting there very slowly. You know that COVID ruined a lot of things for us. A lot of the plans, a lot of the things that we had planned to do. The Chinese virus came and decided to make life almost intolerable for us. But we are getting there very slowly, and very soon that is going to happen, of course, COVID permitting. You know that 1st of October rally that was planned, even in the UK, because of what COVID is doing to people in the UK, the police can only allow, or could only allow 6 people in total. So that tells you, as soon as this whole thing is over, we are getting there. We are getting there. Slowly but surely, we are getting there. The level of consciousness, the level of reawakening, the level of enlightenment going on now makes it imperative that sooner rather than later we'll march out on the streets all over the world to tell them how formidable we are. But the Fulef will still be there, of course. Don't ever discount them. People will always try whatever they can to see if they can attract some measure of crumbs from Ubu Hausa, or should I say from Ubu Fulani. The caller on the line on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
Good evening, sir.
And good morning to you from here. Your name and where you're calling us from, if you may.
My name is Kelechi, and I'm calling from Australia.
Kelechi who? What is your father's name?
Anosike.
Anosike. Thank you very much. Please go ahead. Kelechi Anosike, go ahead. From Australia. Go ahead.
I listened to your last broadcast, and there is something you said, and it's really like I asked myself a question. You said something, you were like, okay, that we cannot be killed, like the way we are being killed cannot outnumber, the way our mother gives birth to us. But I'm like, if it is this serious, why is it not like an open war, so that the whole world will know that this is actually going on? And considering the fact that currently the Republicans, like the right is with power. I mean the White House right now, so it can attract a lot of. If something can happen, something positive can happen, and Biafra can be realized. As why is it not like an open war or something. So my next, something that is bothering me is this. You know, I'll be happy to have someone that will come up on Radio Biafra, someone that is as charismatic as you are, someone like, you know, but that for be like, when you are not broadcasting yourself, if there will be someone that, you know, can you know, be so, you know, that can make the broadcast look, you know, be so well and to communicate the way you are, you know, you always do. If there is someone else that you can groom, that can, you know, be so much effective to, you know, to, that will be so much effective.
Yes, I think we have lost you there, but I do understand what you're saying. First of all, when the time comes, the world will know everything we are doing it in a planned, in a measured form. You know that the trauma of having lost the last war in 1970 affected our psyche so much that, you know, basically we had generations raised in cowardice. People that felt that having lost a war, that we should not attempt another one, forgetting that life is about agitation. Even when you're in the stomach, when it is 9 months and you're in the stomach, you start agitating to come out. If your mother refuses to yield to your agitation, she will die in the process. Every 9 months, a child starts to agitate to come out. So that is the way it is. What we have done or what we are continuing to do or will continue to do is to preach this very gospel, is to make sure that we are relentless, that we are resolute, that regardless of what comes our way, that we rise to the challenge. Because there are bound to be frustrations. Even Lucifer himself cannot be quiet, and you're building the kingdom of God on the face of the earth. Of course, the devil will be very upset with you. That is why we must remain resolute. That is why we must remain consistent. That is why, no matter what happens, we must remain doggedly determined to restore Biafra. That is something that you ought to know, please, my dear brother. And about getting somebody to take do what we are doing. Everybody, they have their own style and their own gift. And I do believe that we have people, and there are many more people who are coming up. And you will hear from them in the coming days and in the coming weeks. Sometimes you should make it a point of duty to make sure we listen to Radio Biafra all the time. Alozia is doing very well. Like Peters is doing very well. There are people who are broadcasting right now on our platform who are doing very well, and it's only a matter of time. Then you will see what they are made up of. Thank you very, very much for that. Thank you very much. I have another caller who happens to be on WhatsApp. Please, people should disregard what Facebook is doing. That is what they do. When they feel that there are too many people who are listening to us, they bring in that their little problem, and then they reduce the number of people. It's all rubbish. They know we are more than all this type of garbage. We must continue. That is the meaning of resoluteness. It doesn't matter what your enemies do. You remain consistent in what you're doing. The caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me, please? And thanks for waiting. Your name and where you are, please.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
My name is Shady Audible from Ihala. I come from Austria.
From Austria. Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, please. I'm very grateful to hear your voice today. And I just want to congratulate you for the good work you are doing. We are all grateful for you, you know. So my question is that I heard you when you were saying that every ethnic group in Biafra land should have their own parliament and decide and make their laws.
Yes, of course.
Yes, that is a very good plan, and your blueprint about Biafra is very, very nice anyway. But what I'm trying to ask you now is every ethnicity having their own language and make their laws in their own language. I deem it fit that it will be a nice thing that we will pick up a language in Biafra land that every ethnicity will be able to learn in school to make for all the citizens of Biafra to speak a unique language. That is one. And furthermore, I'm very grateful for your explanation between you and the Ohaneze and some of our politicians in Biafra land, the meeting that people held in Enugu State, how they wanted to buy bill, because, why I'm saying this is that, some people might be asking themselves, why is nnamdi Kanu always insulting these people? But that is not the thought, because they're supposed to be in forefront of telling the Fulanis that what they are doing to their children is very bad. But instead, because of the earthly things, they choose to take money and forbid their children, so that their children will be trampled upon by the Fulanis. So this is the things I just want to discuss with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. I'm not insulting anybody. What I'm saying is the truth. If they had done what they were supposed to do, then there would be no IPOB, would there? If all these people had gotten themselves organized in the past to fight for our people, to fight for the downtrodden, to fight for the poor, of course everybody is very poor anywhere, unless you're in Abuja stealing money from somewhere, then there will be no need for what we are doing. But they see what is going on. I'm just reading now, as part of the commentaries here on Facebook, that a woman was hacked to death yesterday in Anambra. You say such a thing and you keep quiet and you claim you're a leader, you claim you're sociocultural, whatever, you claim you're apex this and apex that. What utter garbage is that? People, I don't know where we got all these stupid ideas from. Somebody is occupying a position, maybe as a traditional ruler, as a politician, and is a leader. Because of that, you see the idiot wallowing in idiocy, and you keep quiet. You say because they are holding a position. What sort of stupid position is that? That is why you are there in the first place, to protect the interest of the people. As a caller asked previously, have you not heard what Abaribe has been doing on the floor of the Senate? Has he got any backup? You see them come out, no, they're doing very well. Nobody should talk about marginalization. You're not being marginalized. Everything is okay. But you're living in Abuja. Now that erosion is carrying everybody away, even Madonna in Okija. Madonna in Okija is about to be cut off from the rest of the world. What is going on? Doesn't mean we don't have engineers who can fix it. People see evil and they support it. I said to people every time that this very generation of IPOB, we are not like any group of black people. If you go to all over Africa, you see a collection of black people wallowing in idiocy. They cannot provide drinking water for themselves. They are waiting for UNICEF. They are waiting for Oxfam. They are waiting for Save the Children. They are waiting for Action Aid. These are grown-up people. It cannot be that way in Biafra land. We shall take responsibility. The same thing today that we know that Facebook is doing every blessed time that we come on air. They try to do their nonsense. The fake problem, the technical glitch to be suppressing down the number of listeners. Do you think that we are going to allow Facebook to continue in Biafra land? Of course not. We have to find our own. That is how life is. People must understand that this very generation, this very period that we're living in is about time for people to stand up and be counted and remain on the side of the truth. The thing with black people is that they are so foolish. They think sometimes that let me be an opposition voice at least. That's where my name could be heard. You know that stupid the way that a baboon reasons, that is how they reason. But not this IPOB. We shall speak the truth every blessed day. Every blessed day we shall speak the truth every day. I have a caller who happens to be on the line. This caller is on WhatsApp. Your name and where you are, please. Your name and where you are, and then your question, if you may, please.
Mazi, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, I am delighted speaking to you this morning because indeed your kind is a gift to our generation, and I pray that God will keep on sustaining and helping you to carry this mission through.
Yes, sir.
Really, my name is Okechukwu Okoye. I'm from Abu Enugu State. I'm calling from Dortmund in Germany.
Dortmund in Germany. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I want to, as I've said before, I compliment you in every effort you are doing, and I pray that God will keep on strengthening you. There are things I want to talk about. One of them is about the affirmation you made some times ago about the ginger weed and what we are going to do, even when Biafra might have come.
Yes.
So I know what happened when there was this Gideon Oka queue.
Yes.
Where because of his affirmation, people were of the opinion that that queue would have succeeded. But because of his fastness to make some affirmations, it became something that he couldn't carry through.
Yes.
So I'm trying to kind of saying we should be a little bit tactical and wise in saying certain things, and not that we don't know that those who have done such evil to us that cannot go free if need be. But I think we should focus on what is ahead. That is number one. Then another thing I want to say is about Enugu Watch Express and Onisha Express, the money you are talking about that Ohaneze collected, because it is always good. I love IPOB for honest. I love IPOB because they are matching every argument with truth, and truth is always what can set us free. So this, I remember when Jonathan was in power, Jonathan says that all the state governors should build their federal roads and collect money from them. It is really unfortunate that in our own section that none of our governors took that advantage. Recently, the current Jibril or whatever his name is in Asorok has also requested for money to refund for states that have carried out federal roads in their locality. So now I am now saying, how do we believe that Ohaneze or whosoever have collected this money for the road that we didn't see them build? Because government in that particular setup have made it clear that when you finish the building with your money, you come and collect it back. But in our own side, that nobody builded anything. Then how did government get the money that you are talking about? Because I want to be sure, because this is our fathers. We all want everything that are genuine, everything that are correct. But I will condemn my father when he did what is wrong. But it will not be right if I will be condemning them for what they are not guilty of.
Now, let me put it to you this way. So you're saying that Goodluck Jonathan was in office for 6 years and he never awarded the contract or released the funds for Enugu Iguacha Expressway. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, his system was build your road and come and collect the money. That was what I heard in his administration.
No, I don't believe in hearing something. I believe in something that I can confirm and verify. If you know anybody working...
I heard it directly from Jonathan himself. I heard it directly from Jonathan in interview. He said all the state governors build the federal road and come and collect the money. Simple. That is what he said. So if our governors fail to take that advantage, I don't see how Ohaneze
that wasn't what happened. So what you're saying to me, that hold on. Let me correct you, please. So you're saying now that every capital project going on in the zoo as we speak today is go and build and come and collect refund later. You are mistaking two things. The governments of the zoo have been saying, if you spent money on federal roads, come and take it back. And I want you to send anybody to Federal Ministry of Works. I think it's where Fashola is, the man of darkness. Send anybody there. Let them go and bribe whoever is at the gate. Go and bribe somebody to bring out the files for you. Just tell them that you want to know the status of Enugu Iguacha Expressway. Tell them there's something about Enugu Onitsha. Expressway as well, they will tell you. And then lastly, I know who ate the money for Umuahia Owerri. You know the road that passed through Mbise? Are you aware of that road? I know who ate that money. I know who has it. And what they did with it. So we should stop providing excuses for people who are corrupt. That is the reason why the zoo is corrupt. Because black people always make up excuses for what is evil. Since I made the allegation, has any of them come out to say that it is not correct? And if you have somebody who is close to Jonathan, ask him to ask Jonathan, how many times have you awarded Enugu-Iguacha Expressway? Then you'll be shocked. You will be devastated as to what has been going on in our land. So we know all these things very well. Do you know how many times they ate the money? Onisha Owerri. Ask anybody who lives around there. Ask them. Obasanjo had to literally cry and scream before they built Owerri to Onisha. Are you aware of that? So which state governor built Enugu to Onitsha? Which governor built Owerri to Onitsha Expressway and collected money from federal government? If what you're saying is correct.
I think it was in the if I'm not mistaken. Anambra Federal. They built it out of rebellion because they wanted to prove a point. But later it became norm. Thereafter, others, Jonathan said others can build and collect the money.
My brother, you are wrong. Whoever stole our money, listen, whoever stole our money is going to bring it out.
I love respecting my elders, but I am not a fool, and anybody that misbehaves, I am out for capital punishment. I don't care whoever that person is, because we don't deserve all this darkness and evil we are seeing in our country, in our region.
Yes.
But what I will not stand is it can never be right for us to stand and say that somebody that is not guilty is guilty when he's not guilty. No, that's why I'm saying what
I have given you the facts and the figures. And then, listen, they did not build any Owerri. So they built on a chateau Owerri. Built it all the way to Assumpta Cathedral.
They build only between the Onitsha metropolis. He didn't go beyond that.
But I'm talking about a federal road. I'm not talking about the trunk B roads you have in Anambra. We must be able to understand issues and facts before we debate or argue it. Ngige built roads, IPOB built roads as well. We understand that. NDDC under this man Onyema, I think his name is Onyema, he built a lot of roads as well. A lot of little feeder roads connecting communities. I am talking about federal awarded roads. I'm giving you an assignment now. 3 simple assignments. The number 1 assignment is how many times did the federal government of the zoo award the contract for Owerri to Onitsha? I said how many times? That is your number 1 assignment. Number 2 assignment, send somebody to the Federal Ministry of Works. Let them give you the file. I don't believe in hearsay, what somebody said, interview. I believe in facts and figures. Tell them to give you the file of Enugu-Iguacha Expressway. You will see what happened. Then also ask, whilst you're at it, ask them a simple question. When was the last time the contract for Enugu-Onitsha Road was awarded? And then lastly, also find out how many times Owerri to Umuahia Road passing through Mbise has been awarded. Then you'll be shocked. We don't come out here to say what we do not know. What we give you are facts and figures. That is why this is the finest university on the face of this very earth, because we speak the truth always, even if it leads to our death. You must understand that. But I do also accept what you're saying. People must not think that we come here to level accusations or cast aspersions. That is what they will say. That is what they always say. There are certain people in Federal House of Representatives, in the Senate, that ate the money meant for our roads. And when you finish, you understand the reason why. Have you ever asked yourself the reason why Onitsha Head Bridge is a public-private partnership? whereas they're building the way to Niger Republic. Have you ever asked yourself the reason why? Why Jonathan could not finish second Niger Bridge? Have you ever asked yourself the reason why? If you know it, these people, as you see them, you hang all of them. If you see them, you shoot them. If you know what we know, if you see them, you will kill them. You won't insult them, you kill all of them. That is what you don't. Ask yourself, if they are not compromised, are they not using that same road? Why are they not talking? If you go through Enugu Onitsha Expressway, you will see it's unpassable. You, as a lawmaker,
I am always there.
Thank you very much. Have you asked yourself, but politicians come from these areas, why are they not talking? Because they have shared the money. They have shared the money. All right, so what is your job? Your job is to go and represent the people. And the roads leading from one part of your constituency to the other is not passable. And it's a federal road. It is a federal road. And you cannot talk. Hey, come on. That tells you all you need to know. But I do accept your points that you have made. And thank you very much. I remain very resolute and determined. Thank you very, very much. We have another caller who happens to be on Skype. This caller on Skype, can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes, please. Your name and where you are, please.
Hello, my name is Paul Omubiko.
And where are you calling from? From Barcelona. Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Omadike, words are not enough to say thanks to you. So now, my question is, we know already about the saboteurs, Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, Eastern governors, and every other person. So, my question is, Bianca Ojukwu, what is her contribution to this struggle? When you answer me, then I have another question.
She's very strong and very resolute, and you know how our people are. If the wife of our leader were to be too forward and come out every day and leading this very fight from the front, some of people will also come up and say, oh, is it this family that we have come to suffer? All the time it is them. Oh, they took us to war and they have come again. You don't know how that our people can be very, very devilishly vindictive. She wrote a statement about what happened at Emene, the killing of IPOB family members there. She wrote very eloquently. And I believe that right now she is conducting herself very well and providing counsel and advice the best way that she can. Thank you. Go ahead.
Another question is, we have seen these people from Uyo, and we know that religious are the people that cause our problem in that contraption. So, now, Jesus Christ, he prayed, he said, let thy kingdom come, and he was referring to Biafra.
Yes.
And then, Biafra is the only kingdom in this world without a king.
Yes.
Then, Nostradamus, he said, a prince will rise from the bottom of the trigger, which no man can stop. And many other things. We know that Igbo doesn't have a king, and it does not mean that Biafra will not have a king. So what I want to ask, is Biafra will ever have king in that kingdom?
No.
Jesus Christ prayed for.
No, God is the king. The same way the Israelites were before they asked for Saul to be made, before they asked for king and God gave them Saul. The same way we were without a king, because Chibueze, that is who we are. We are Republicans by nature, and we are going to run a republic where power will reside with the people. There will be nothing like a king. Every position, people can call it king, Igwe, Eze, Amainabo, Obong, or whatever it is. But that very stool, that very office will be voted for by the people. Because if you don't vote for it, if you allow it to become hereditary, you are no longer running a republic. That is how learned we are. We know the meaning of a republic. We know the meaning of a place where a sovereign is in absolute control, or a monarchical system, or a feudal system. We want to run a republic. The same way our ancestors did before the white man came with his warrant chief nonsense. Go ahead.
So, I have contribution. to do, because we know the ignorance of our people. Our people really lack knowledge, which is the black man, the COG. So, but there is a way in the Western world how they used to treat with this kind of people. Any day Biafra is restored, we know that a lot of hereditary Nigeria, people are still living with this kind of genetic sin. So, I think my suggestion realized we have to build what they call this rehabilitation centers in every province, so that people will go there and learn things.
People from the zoo.
If you just driving, a lot of different kind of atrocities are there, but people have to go inside the rehabilitation, where they have to rehabilitate themselves and they come out from that place. Reason like contribution.
Thank you very much. Your line is cutting. Your line is cutting. I have no idea why. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you very well.
Thank you very much. What you're saying is correct. We are going to have, as I've said before, we are going to have centers where common sense will be taught, where people will be taught how to reason. Because the way that black people reason is the reason why we are in a mess. I have asked people this question. Before you come out to say anything about what we do and how we do it, ask yourself this question. How many universities, let me ask you, how many universities are there in the zoo? In the Zoological Republic of Nigeria? How many universities? Just a guess, I'm not asking you to be accurate. Give me an idea. Sorry?
No qualified university is found in Nigeria. There is no qualified university in Nigeria.
But people come out with certificates every blessed day. And the same people, their peers, or should I say their counterparts elsewhere in the world, they build rockets, they build, they invent things, they make things happen. The same graduates that you have the same number of graduates. In fact, let me make the whole of Africa. And what is happening? Nothing. People graduate and they have no jobs to go to. People are unemployed. People are scavenging. You finish school, you go and buy keke napep. And you're telling me that you're normal as a graduate. So you're telling me that your parents suffered and scraped and sent you to school to come out and be driving keke napep. And you are not ashamed of yourself. And some of these people, they come out and they are supporting those who have made their life a misery. That is what I don't understand about black people. That is something that it defeats me. I cannot understand it. Elsewhere in the world, there will be a non-stop revolution until things are done properly. But you will see somebody who is a graduate after going to school, of course, after doing cultism in school, coming out and is now driving keke napep. And he will go and buy a second-hand Chinese phone and will be using it to defend those making his life a misery. That is something I can never understand about black people. I have tried to excuse all our inexcusable behavior. That is something I don't quite understand. Why would you defend politicians who have made your life? I can't for the life of me understand it. But it's only black people, and that is why we are black anyway. Something very, very, deviant about us. Very sad indeed. I have a caller who happens to be on the line. This caller, can you hear me? Can you hear me? The caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Or is the WhatsApp line jamming again? Unbelievable. That I believe it is. I believe it is jamming once again because the calls are too numerous. The calls are too numerous. The time now is approximately 13 minutes to the top of the hour. 13 minutes to the top of the hour. Let us go to Skype to see who is there. The caller on Skype, can you hear me, please? The caller on Skype, can you hear me?
Good morning, mazi.
Good morning to you. Please give us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Christopher Lucky. I'm calling from Ukraine.
You're calling from Ukraine. You're calling from Ukraine. Thank you very much. Of course, and Facebook is doing their usual rubbish. Please go ahead.
First of all, I would like to congratulate you, sir. Congratulations for Biafra, for your good work and for Biafra.
Thank you. We thank you, Kokika Biama, who made it possible. Please go ahead.
Sir, the amount of gratitude you deserve is more than words. Like, I'm going to build the biggest statue in the world for you and Ojukwu.
I don't believe in statutes. Personally, I don't believe in statutes, to be honest. That's a debate we're going to have in Biafra land. I don't believe in statutes at all. I don't believe in it.
That's in North Korea and taller than the Statue of Unity in India. Once I become the president of Biafra.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Sir, you have to appoint the first president yourself because you keep talking about the brain of black people. You cannot underestimate stupid people in large numbers. If they vote the wrong person, maybe somebody that is making videos that want fame and want to eat money. All those it's our turn evil mentality of a black man. All those stupid greedy men, blind men, both old and young. Sir, you have to appoint the first president of Biafra by yourself. I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
What is the requirement for to bid for the president of Biafra? I want to know the requirements. Acceptability
by the people. The people will have to choose, because our job is to educate and prime our people to be able to tell us who can make their lives better, and also to have the conviction and the courage to remove those people should they perform very badly. These are the things we must be able to do. Once we have a system you cannot rig, because if you rig elections in Biafra land, you'll be hanged. It's death penalty. Now, if we have a system whereby you cannot rig elections, that the will of the people will prevail, I trust that the majority of Biafrans always and at all times will be able to make the right choices at all times. So if the people accept you, then you can go and serve them. You're not going to rule anybody. You are going to serve, because if you don't perform very well, they can recall you or remove you from office. So all you need to do, starting from today... Sorry?
Sir, God told me to give Biafrans electricity. God told me to give Biafrans electricity. Not NEPA. I'm talking about 24 hours electricity that is like oxygen. That, you know,
are you an inventor? Did you invent anything?
Electricity is going to be stable.
Have you invented anything that can give us electricity without burning fossil fuel? Have you developed anything that can give us electricity?
Solar energy from the sun.
Very good. Now we welcome you to try and make that available as soon as Biafra is restored. Thank you very, very much for that. That is what we would like to hear.
I want to know the requirements. Because I am capable. I pass all the requirements physically, spiritually, educationally, mentally.
Then
historically.
Then you don't need to convince me. You don't need to convince me. Go and convince Biafran people when the time comes. Pray for Biafra to come first of all, and then you put yourself forward. All these, your credentials, will be scrutinized then. It is not left for any electoral commission to be talking rubbish. Our people will choose those that will serve them. And I believe, I genuinely and honestly believe that you will do very, very well. I believe so. The caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Please give us your name and where you're calling from, if you may.
My name is Okechukwu Augustine. I'm calling from France.
From France. Thank you very much.
Imo State.
Imo State. Thank you. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. This is my first caller on this platform, sir. I've been following your program, watching what you are doing concerning our struggling, sir.
Thank you.
I'll continue to guide you.
Yes,
anybody that want to plant anything against you will use the hell to carry it, because there is nemesis on the ground.
Yes, of course. I know.
All the saboteurs and the rest of both the saboteurs and the rest of them. I've been watching all of them on Facebook, different talks they are talking. There was a program I told Ikenga about in South Africa when Ikenga was in the program. I told Ikenga, forget about all these people, leave them alone. So anybody that is digging pit or somebody that did not dig pit for him will fall inside that pit, and that is how it is.
Yes, sir. I don't know why we bother. There are always going to be idiots. You can't come in a society and you have people who are normal. As I have said before, the primary driver of the instinct of a Biafran is jealousy. That is why we're individualistic.
Yes.
That is the reason why I have, we must be able to ask ourselves questions. Why is it that Abaribe has nobody supporting him? It's only him saying what we all want to hear on a daily basis. He is not a member of IPOB, but he has seen something wrong with how his people are being treated, and he's rising up to speak about it. No other person will ever rise up to say, I support what Abaribe is doing. It's out of jealousy. Look at him every time. It's only him that they eulogize, is him that they adore all the time. It is in the nature of a black man. I have said this thing before. I have all my orientation, so to speak, I got from England, for instance. When I got to England newly, there used to be a program called the $64,000 question. Then after that, after many years, they now have the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and all this quiz. If you see the way that people, you don't know the person answering those questions or attending to that very quiz, everybody wants them to win. And you get to work in the morning and you'll be wondering, and I spend time wondering, thinking to myself, why is it that white people, anytime we get to work, they'll be saying, he made a mistake or she made a mistake, I wanted him to win, I was rooting for him. And they are not even related. Compare and contrast that with the behavior of black people. As you are about to be asked the question that will give you $1 million. Hey, oh my goodness, why not me? Oh dear God, he's not going to get anything. So tomorrow he will be a millionaire. And I've asked you before, why is it that when people are successful, you have another person from another compound looking for who to poison from that family? That is how black people are in this UG black. That is how they reason. That is how they have evolved. They have, listen, we have not genetically.
My leader.
Please go ahead.
My leader, there is something I want people to know. That is the story of Jesus Christ and Judas Iscariot. Jesus Christ was not recognized when he was in the midst of people. It's when Judas Iscariot went and collected bribe from these people, and now there is no way these people can discover Jesus Christ. When Judas Iscariot now went to Jesus Christ and kissed him, that is when they discover him, Jesus Christ. But at the end of the day, as he betrayed Jesus Christ, how did he end up?
These people are inconsequential. What you're saying is absolutely right, and I agree with you completely. But I believe that we are spending inordinate amount of time discussing people who are irrelevant, quite frankly. And the reason why we discuss them is because, as I have said before, for us, gossip sells. It is part of that, a culture of gossip and recycling things that are irrelevant. What we must do and what we have done in the past and must continue to do is to focus on the very difficult task of restoring Biafra. I have said this thing before, and allow me to also say it again, and I'll ask it by way of a question. During the war, are you telling me that Fulani soldiers did not impregnate certain women to give birth to children? Of course they did. You must understand that. Why is it that a whole, a sizable chunk of Anioma is saying they are not Igbo? Because their parents are from Fulani Janjaweed. That is the way it is. So people, you cannot expect somebody that a Fulani man fathered, then you want him to come and support what you're doing. Of course, he will support his parents' people. Of course, he will support one Nigeria. He will do everything he can to make the zoo viable. And that is what we are saying, that you shouldn't be paying attention to people who are non-entities, people who are inconsequential. I have a caller on the line. Do I have that caller? No, I don't anymore. I don't have that caller. We have come perilously close, I would say, or should I say in a nice way, we have come to the end of the program, but I'll take one or two more calls and then we see where that takes us. To the caller on the line, the caller on Skype. Can you hear me, please? Your name and where you are.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, my name is Chinedobi. I'm calling from DRC, Congo.
From Democratic Republic of Congo. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Please, I have 2 or 3 questions to ask you, but I want to follow you answer a little bit question for the guy that called and said their mother in the village are listening. They want to know why IPOB is the people to actualize Biafra. I have just 1 minute to put a little explanation on that. First of all, they're supposed to know who started Biafra for the first time. It's our leader from Anambra. He carried the cross, and the cross later become so weight, he dropped. The second person came up from Imo State and carried the cross. At the time, he dropped. Now the third person has come. Our people said, Ifebian and Keto, Yato. So you have come up to carry the cross, and you have chosen yourself to carry and to bear the insult from many people. That shows that IPOB is the people to restore Biafra for us. Are you with me, sir?
Loud and clear. I can hear you loud and clear, and the whole world is listening.
Okay, sir. Now, he has to tell their mother in the village. The person that liberated the children of Israel from Egypt is a first son, like you. I'm a first son also, I know. And God have a covenant with every first son. You have gone with that covenant that God has, even no matter how upon how deep the sins of Cain is, but God did not kill Cain because he has a covenant with the first son. So you have come up and carry this cross. It is only the simple way to address our mothers in the village that there's no any other person that can give us Biafra apart from you at the forefront with IPOB. That is my contribution on that side. Then to my questions. I want to ask you, a governor in my state, Anambra, he said that the life of a Biafran worth of $1,150, and let me say $1,200. If a Fulani man killed a Biafran man in Anambra, that Fulani will pay $500,000. Please, I want you to tell us, how much is our life worth? How much is a life of Biafran worth? That is number one. Number two, as a police officer or as a security officer in Biafra land, can I be able to train my child or my children to up to the secondary school or university level? Because I know in the zoo, a police officer cannot take his child or their children to up to the secondary school level without indulging himself or herself in an illegal or bribe or whatever, and talk of university. So as a security officer in Biafra land, are we going to be able to train our children up to university level?
I will answer you.
Then number three, in the zoo, most especially in the southeast, in Biafra land, we don't have a standard hospital that has a helicopter. They have their number that if you call on emergency, they will come with their helicopter to rescue life, because this is one of the reasons people are dying carelessly. Before you can be able to travel from where with bad road and pothole and whatever, the person will give up. But we do watch the white men, once there is an emergency, a helicopter will be there, even their boss or their whatever will be there, they will rescue people on time. Are we going to have a standard hospital like that in Biafra land?
Thank you very much.
Finally, sir, our political leaders today, all these called the Ndoshi, all these the so-called elites or whatever they call themselves now, when Biafra is restored, there is something French called remise et reprise. That is when they are exchanging some documents or whatever. like when you have a new president, are we going to have a kind of the risk of our leaders, the Biafran leaders that has collected contracts of loads or contracts for a mega project in Eastern region, so that we can be able to know their names very well and deal with them mercilessly? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
DRC.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope to remember all the questions you asked. Initially you said, what is the price of life? Where we come from, you can't exchange anything that is material for life. In other words, which means that life is supreme. Life is more than anything in the world. So, and we are going to go on valuing life the same way we were doing it before the white man came with his colonization. And today we are a mess. And today you have Biafran people, you have Igbo men and women running cells in Okozo, harvesting organs of their fellow Igbo people. Something that is an abomination before God Almighty in heaven. So for us, life is priceless. You cannot put a price to life itself. And I think your second question was concerning if you're a police officer, if you are going to train your children to university level, education in Biafra land will be free right up to university level. We have been agonizing as to how we are going to fund that. We don't want to remove the responsibility. People will go to colleges and to universities with students' loans. When you finish and you come out, you can repay if your parents cannot pay for you. There will be bursaries, there will be scholarship. We're going to do all we can to make sure that education is accessible for each and every child that needs it. Mind you, education will be compulsory up to the age of 18. Then they can now branch off into whatever discipline or endeavor that takes their fancy, but education will be compulsory and free and qualitative at the same time. And also, you talked about hospital. We are going to build world-class hospitals, and it will be a rule in Biafra land. Even if you're a politician, you will go to the nearest hospital to you. You will not go outside your constituency or where you are to obtain treatment. You will go to the nearest hospital to you to go and receive treatment. Then that will make you have the incentive to invest in your local hospital. That is absolutely vital. And I think the last one you mentioned are all these people that looted funds and stole money. Of course, they know they're in very serious trouble. They understand that. We are going to have a scrupulously clean society. Very, very clean and very neat. And nobody is going to mess it up. That I can assure you. All these, because I'll be DNA test. All these people that were fathered by Janjaweed, they have to go and look for their parents. Very, very important. We will welcome those from abroad. We welcome the Rainbow Coalition that will come back after Biafra has been restored. And on that note, I want to thank each and every one of you for having listened to us, not minding the shenanigans of the idiots who think that they can suppress our numbers by giving the lame excuse that there is an interruption somewhere. We are unstoppable. It doesn't matter what the enemies do. It doesn't matter. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. We are unstoppable and Biafra is coming. That is why to us Biafra is our religion, and here on Radio Biafra, the finest university on the face of this very earth, is where we worship, because Elohim Chukwukika is our God in heaven. We don't fear any bagger on this very earth. We are here to speak the truth, and that truth shall set us free. I thank you all very much for listening this morning, and until Sunday evening, 7 p.m. on Sunday, from me, from here, good morning.